We are Cactus Wrestling. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos.
Cactus Wrestling is now available on Spotify and Amazon. And don't forget to check us out on Etsy for all of your Cactus Wrestling apparel needs. Happy Halloween from Cactus Wrestling. Do you leave the house before turning off your dryer?
These are the questions we want answered.
This is
Just
actually a very important conversation in the Long family household. Okay, if you guys can ignore the rest of the video, if you only
Please,
comment on
please
this,
weigh in. Is highly
we
important.
just had like a 5 minute debate off. Well, no, there's a recording
yeah,
actually of it. But yeah, do you leave the house with the dryer running? We want to know. Anyway, this is the pound for pound wrestling rankings video, the last preseason ranking video. All three of us here. It's
oh yeah.
Halloween. Wrestling season is starting this weekend, and we couldn't be more excited about it. So, no better way to start the season than getting into our last rankings video. And without further ado, who's going to be number one? No surprises here.
AJ Ferrari,
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
AJ's on the list,
he is, and
which might
honestly,
surprise some people.
yeah, my
So I don't think there's any shockers. Carter Strachey, number one, four-time NCAA champion. A lot of people in the
only
comments are saying, this person next, because it's,
yeah,
what do we need to talk
Well,
about type of
our
and
thing.
if,
184
if Parker
rankings.
wins at the NWCA All-Star Classic, then Parker will move into
Yeah,
the
I
slot.
think if Parker wins, then he's the new number one, pound for
Yeah.
for
pound.
sure.
And
I
I
mean,
think there's honestly a argument. If I was doing this alone, I probably would put Parker as number two pound for pound over Keegan, but it's razor thin. It really could go either way.
Yeah.
so I like Carter number one. Obviously, his only two losses were the injury default losses. Um, as you talked about in the 184 video, a lot of people are saying, Parker is a great wrestler, but this is Carter's weight to lose. Next question. And I'm still not sold that it's going to be just a cut and dry. Carter just beats him every time. Um, he might, and he totally could. I think we're going to learn a lot from the All Star Classic,
Yeah,
which if you
some people
haven't
in the
seen,
comments definitely thought that it was going to be like Carter's going to dominate.
yeah, I was like, look, like Carter doesn't have a high bonus percentage, like, and I actually talked to somebody about this in the comments. I said, if by dominate, do you mean like the most crushing 4-0 match you've ever seen, or like he's going to go out in there and just tech him? Because I said I would see the first one a lot more likely than the second one. But yeah, if you haven't seen our All Star Classic predictions, check out that video. And yeah, I think Carter. I mean, rare air here, guy going for his fifth national title. Which again,
Rare.
as
It's unprecedented and it's never going to happen again.
it will never happen again. And as we've had guys comment this on the short a while ago, um, I think it's Carlin Hesser. I have to look up his name.
Hasselrig.
Yes, that was back when you were allowed to do multiple divisions at the same time. And he was like a D3 national champ and a D1
Oh yeah,
national
that was
champ
when you
in the
won the
same.
national title. You got bought into the.
Yes, exactly. It brought you back in. So he's done it. He's won like I think six, but it's a little different. But
Yeah,
yeah,
1 year. Yeah.
yeah,
So, what do you guys think of Keegan number two over Parker?
I think it's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two-time champ compared to one-time champ in Parker. Keegan's only loss was two-time champ David Carr. And honestly, if David Carr was still around, there's an argument for him to be number two. So it's not like
Yeah,
that loss is substantial.
I think too. Like, and we've seen a lot of great wrestling from Mitchell Messenbrink, but I think that if Keegan was on the other side of the bracket on Mitchell's side, we might have seen him not take third. He might have taken second.
Right.
Um, or if he did beat David Carr, I think there's a good chance to say that he does win his third straight
And am I
national title.
listening? That was Mike that said that.
Yeah.
That Mitchell
I mean,
Messenbrick
well,
lost
I went
just-
back and forth on this all year, and the biggest thing was that like their previous experience with each other slows things down a lot. Like we've seen how Mitchell was able to kind of dominate guys, and then the second time it's a little bit closer because they know how to wrestle them a little differently. Keegan and Mitchell were high school teammates, and they
Yeah.
wrestled the same club of Aspen Wrestling Academy. I'm sure they have more matches together than they do anybody else. And I know I don't know for a fact, but I'd be pretty darn certain Keegan knows how to wrestle Mitch better than just about anybody out there.
You darn tootin'.
So, you know, I think there was reasonable reason to believe that Keegan O'Toole could have taken second or first if he beat David Carr. So I think him above Parker does make sense. He's had the more storied career up till now.
So number 4, we have Levi Haynes. And as our most recent comment on the 174 pounds video, I want to get this username right. MS23 says Levi dog walks Keegan. Bold take.
Jog walks. I mean, I don't think that that's accurate.
I think Keegan's going to lose to him.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I think I made that prediction in the 174 video. I know crazy Mike Long coming in with these wild Penn State
Whoa.
conspiracies.
The Penn State guy's gonna beat up.
Well, I didn't say beat up. I just said that, like, looking at Levi is not known for his freestyle prowess. He's even lost to Alex Facundo, who we know is not the
Oh,
same
yeah, that's
folk
what you were
style wrestler.
saying.
Keegan is a multiple time world medalist in freestyle. He was a serious threat to beating Jason Nolf. The fact that Levi could go up 2 weight classes and beat him so convincingly in his worst style speaks to volumes, in my opinion, on how much improvement he's made and how much of a threat he is at 174. And I know that, scrambling and riding ability and just top bottom in general isn't taken into account in freestyle, and Keegan probably has an advantage there. But I think that the Levi Haynes Keegan O'Toole matchup is a lot more of a thing than people are leading it on to believe.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely probably the second most anticipated matchup of the upcoming season behind Carter versus Parker. So there's a reason those guys are deservedly top 4 in our
I
opinions.
think Mendez Alirez is more anticipated than Haynes O'Toole.
I don't think so.
I think the Alira's match is not as big of a deal. I mean, I guess it depends what versions of them we see. We kind of saw it play out in freestyle.
And it was such a boring match.
Well, that's exactly it. And freestyle kind of
No, it's
like the whole.
freestyle.
Well, again, freestyle like is incentivized to score. I mean, that's why they have a
Yeah, but
10-point tech. That's why
You're
matches
not
end in
going to
10
scramble
seconds.
the same way in freestyle.
And that was my point with Keegan losing to
Yeah.
to
I
Levi.
acknowledged it. I acknowledged it.
I wasn't there.
I
Well, how about this? Comment down below which matchup are you rank them. Rank all 3 in the comments below. Which matchups are you most looking forward to seeing? Carter versus Parker, Keegan versus Levi, or Mendez versus Alirez?
I mean,
Rank all 3.
Our top 6 in the pound for pound are three weight classes, 2 guys in each
yeah.
weight.
Isn't that exciting?
For those
Yeah,
3
I mean
weights,
they're the only 3 weight classes that have returning champions. Two
Yeah.
returning champions in each weight
How
class.
do you think Alirez is going to do with his return? I mean, so I saw somewhere, I don't know if it was a comment, someone was kind of pointing out, like, he's almost on the Makai Lewis path, where Makai beats a very good Vincenzo Joseph, takes a year off to focus on a freestyle, and never really comes back to that folk style prowess. Do you think that's a possibility with Alirez?
I don't think so because I think Makai always battled injuries, and then he won it at a weight class below where he was. Alirez used to be 49 pounder, so he's still at 41 where he won it. Who did he beat in his national championships? Trying to remember.
Real Woods.
Real Woods in the finals.
Yeah, I mean, in Real Woods, I mean, take last year aside, he still took 4th place.
Yeah.
And he's convincingly beat Bo Bartlett before many times. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be an issue. I think he's right up there for a reason.
Yeah, deservedly so.
So number 7 on our list is Mitchell Messenbrink. Some people may think this is a little bit higher. We have him above some other NCAA champions. My argument is his only career loss is to David Carr, who is pound for
Multiple
pound
time.
like the number 2 guy last year. Um,
Yeah. It was a close match.
and we just see him, I mean, just terminating this weight class this year,
Well,
and it's really not going to be close.
that's exactly like, some people are making bold claims, and I'm not going to make this claim because I don't think it's the truth. But I've seen people say like, Mitchell could probably, might never lose again in college. And
I
I'm like,
mean,
it's a little
there
bit
are some
far.
Penn State guys that kind of follow that path.
Yeah, Levi Haynes hasn't lost since his second place.
Yeah. So, if that's the truth and that's the case, we could see Mitchell rapidly climb up these ranks. Um, I think we've kind of all agreed he's a pretty big favorite this year.
I mean, yeah, I don't think he's got too many people that are going to make it difficult for him.
I think if Meyer Shapiro comes up,
You think he might
It's
go
a
up?
dogfight.
not this year. Like
Oh, I was
I think
In the future, it's a
I think
dogfight if he
yeah.
does.
So my prediction is, let's say Meyer wins at 157 and Mitchell wins at 165, and then Mitchell stays at 165, and then Meyer comes up to 165 for their third year.
Mm.
That would be, I think, could be a very interesting battle. But we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of time in between now and then.
Yeah, and listen, Messenbrink's not invulnerable. Like Dean
No, he just
Hamity tore him apart for most of
yeah.
the Big Ten
Yeah, until
match.
it broke. But yeah,
I mean, even
Yeah,
just look at his freestyle that we just saw at U23s. I mean, everyone had him pegged for gold, and he got worked by Japan.
Japan's on another
well,
level.
yeah, Japan's a little different.
Yeah, they're pretty good wrestlers. What can I say? But the point is that, like, he's not. You can watch his style and say, okay, like, yes, he's very good, but he's not this flawless, perfect wrestler that a lot of people are having him making him out to be.
Yeah. Um, Number 8, Caleb Henson from Virginia Tech won his first national championship last year. He did take 2 losses on the season, but he kind of took it into overdrive at the NCAA's. I think he majored Austin Gomez in the finals. Um, and the kid just has so much upside. He's arguably the favorite going into the season. Maybe Shane Van Ness, for Penn State fans, maybe that could be a potential
15-7
close
over
matchup.
Gomez.
What was it?
15-7 over Gomez.
Yeah, major decision. And
A lot of that was Gomez's fault.
well,
I mean, Gomez, live and die by the big moves, and I believe, if I remember correctly, he went too big too early. And
Well, that's how he always did.
well,
Though.
that's exactly it. So, but like, Major and Gomez isn't as impressive as it sounds in that sense.
yeah. So some people probably gonna hate this ranking. Greg Kirk, uh, number 9.
I mean,
Uh,
realistically, though, I
yeah,
feel like if he was the same weight as the guys that the 8 guys we put ahead of him, I don't know that he's going to beat those guys.
I think I mean, what we always talk about with Greg is that he's so lazy. And surprisingly, he had a 70% bonus rate last year, which if you watch his matches for the most part, he coasts on leads and doesn't really build upon them. But I think my counter to that is, typically speaking, heavyweight is one of the um top heavy weight classes. The depth is just not the same level as the lower weights.
Right.
I mean, you have some schools that throw out 197 pounders as their heavyweights. Well, true 197, like 220
Yeah.
pound guys. And it's like you have a 50, he's a full 275. He has a 50-pound advantage. Well, you cut that gap, and we're talking about pound for pound talent here. Would that translate if he was up against the likes of guys truly his size, which all the other weight classes face? It's scratch weight pretty much at every other weight class. So Greg's size advantage, again, that's nothing he can do about that. The other guys
He does
need
the
to
best
get
he can
bigger,
with what he
but
got, but yeah, I don't think that if he was the same weight, like if he was shrunk down or other people were raised up, I don't think he would be the best.
Yeah.
I'm
So
not
that's
a I'm
what?
not a Greg hater, so I had him higher.
Oh, okay.
I mean, in my opinion, he's probably gonna be a national champion again this year. I don't think he's the biggest favorite, but I think he's a solid favorite. Um,
As the
I
returning champ, you would be.
well,
He's
yeah,
definitely a solid favorite.
yeah. Well, I think that there's a chance to get that Wyatt can make an improvement, that Younger could do well. I think even Nick Feldman. I
Oh,
think there's
don't,
three guys that I see as possibilities to knock him off. I'm not going to pick any of them,
I would
but
love to see
And
Younger
hey,
against.
someone in the comments recently was Kyler Stern. Shout out Kyler Stern. He was hyping up your boy Braxton Amos. Top 4 type problem, he said.
I mean it could be if he grows, but I don't know if what his
He's had a year to grow.
yeah. Braxton is just such an interesting fellow.
Maybe
But
he didn't
again, I
leave
don't.
the weight room this entire time, putting on
I
50
hope so.
pounds of muscle.
I hope so.
Does Penn State wrestle Michigan this year?
Did Penn
They
State even
Not
release their
Michigan,
schedule
sorry,
yet?
not Michigan, Wisconsin.
Uh,
Let's
for
see.
that one.
Let's pull up the schedule because that could be interesting if
I don't
Greg
know.
actually wrestles it.
I think Ben Keeter is probably gonna have more of a threat than Braxton. But with Greg, he's a two-time national finalist already, one-time national champ, four-time All-American. I think he's gonna finish his career as a two-time national champ, three-time national finalist, five-time All-American.
Is
In
that
my
what you would have
opinion,
said about Roman Bravo Young?
as a three-time
Penn
champ.
State does not wrestle Wisconsin this year.
He has a 3-time champ.
I mean, no one would have expected Vito, but
At the
I think
time,
that
yeah.
I think there's a reason to have Greg be a little bit higher, and I could see him above Caleb. I could see him above a few of these guys, but I agree with you guys that Greg, for his 70% bonus rate, certainly didn't look at a lot of the season, and it's these are pound for pound rankings. You're assuming that everybody is, let's say, 150 pounds. How does Greg not get to use his size advantage where he just rides, grabs a wrist, rolls it back under, rides parallel, okay, gets off to the side, forward pressure, keeps the guy flat, and he just builds like 5 minutes of riding time. I mean,
Right.
he can't do that if he's a 165, or if he can, he's the best rider around.
Yeah.
So I could see where you guys are coming from.
So this next guy, I think there's an argument for him to be number 1, honestly.
Yeah,
He's
I
the
mean,
greatest
to argue Mike,
97-pounder of all time.
The slickest,
Self-proclaimed.
fastest, quickest, most agile, most flexible, greatest 197-pounder of all time.
AJ Ferrari. And we have him as junior. He has 3 more years though, right?
But
Eligibility?
technically he's a junior though. But yes, he has 3 more years. I don't know how they're going to work it, but like you can go on his wrestle stat, you can go on his
Yeah.
weight.
he's gonna be a junior, senior.
Yeah, he's just gonna stack up that. He'll go for his masters.
Yeah. So until he loses, I mean, you got to count that championship he had, what, 4 years ago now?
Dude, it's so
Yeah.
crazy. Like there's people that I've had high schoolers graduate that are like that started with AJ Ferrari.
Yeah. It's insane. Um,
But yeah, until proven otherwise, I mean, the dude's still a national champ. He's a great athlete. He's kind of a jerk as a person.
Down to weight,
But
as we saw.
yeah, he
he's
he, he
down.
looked
Yeah, he put on
he
social
looked
media.
small though. Let's agree that he did look lean.
Yeah,
Well,
well, he's
compared to
197.
his, beauty muscle pics online,
Yeah, I
but
mean, he had to be 230, maybe even a little heavier to get down to 97. He looks.
just wait until he's in singlet and up against any other 97-pounder. He's gonna look massive.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I'm excited for him versus Nick Stemmet from Stanford.
Yeah, called him
Stemmett's
out.
excited for him against Nick Stemmet.
Not that Stemmet's even like a top guy. I just think it'll be interesting to see how AJ has improved or regressed or stayed the same, with a guy that he has previous experience against.
Didn't Stemmet? Was he the one that was beefing with him on social
Yeah.
media?
Yeah.
Yeah, Stemmet's hilarious. Like he
Okay.
called him out again, and then AJ's like, "I almost teched you last time." He goes, "Yeah, but you didn't." And
Yeah.
it's like, that was like, and then he goes, "Okay." Like Stemmet then like replied again. He goes, "I wasn't even trying that time."
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
It's like I love that. Like it's like like you're 9.
Head games, yeah.
He's all
Dust
by this
Dust
time.
Dustin Plott is number 11 here.
I mean,
I mean, he's the
yeah,
clear.
arguably it could be higher,
Yeah.
like ahead of Greg.
I mean, I don't see it. I mean, three of his losses last year were to Parker. They weren't close, really, any of them. Um,
But then
Three
to
of the
Lenny
losses were
Pinto.
to the number 3 pound for pound guy.
I
Yeah,
know,
but
but
then
he
he
also
lost to
lost to Lenny
Pinto,
Pinto.
who's not even like, I don't even think we have him
He's
in our
not even an
top five.
All-American.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love me some Lenny Pinto, and he's going down to 74. But
It'll be
um,
hulkingly large at 74.
yeah, that's gonna be insane. Yeah, it's gonna be
But
insane.
I mean, Plot, he majored his way to the finals. He did great, and then he got majored in the finals, or bonused his way to the finals. Um, but I think there's enough time that we could say 184 probably wasn't as strong as it should have been last year. I think it was pretty solid two guys that were in there, and then some quality talent, but it was pretty top heavy.
Yeah.
I think Dustin's a very good 184. I don't know if he beats Parker or Carter kind of thing, but I think that if he went up to 197, he'd probably be an All-American still.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a pound for pound ranking right there for me.
Well, we haven't rounded out the 12th.
Yeah, the last one, number 12 here, Ryan Crookham getting that last spot. I think beating Vito twice and only career loss losing to Vito. Similar vein as to Messenbrink's lost to David Carr, two-time NCAA champion. He took third as opposed to Messenbrink's second. Crookham's bonus rate is a lot lower than Messenbrink's. But arguably the clear favorite at 133 this year. So over the four honorable mention guys, we felt he deserved it more so, especially with Bo Bartlett. I think in a head-to-head match, although we were just talking about this, they have similar styles. They're
Yeah.
both kind of counter wrestlers, and I think if they wrestled in a matchup, Crookham's scrambling's higher level, so I think Crookham would win that match. But it'd probably be a decision, like a lot of Crookham's matches are.
Yeah,
So
they're both such like nail biter matches, both of them. We talked about it. Is that 10 guys that Bo wrestles? You could totally see Bo losing to all 10 of them.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
he
true.
took so
And
many matches to overtime last year.
but he ends up winning them, and similarly with Crookham, he wins nail biter very 1 point matches. And we said like their bonus rate between the two of them was only about 2% different. Like these are not guys that are going out and dominating; they're just winning. But each match is like, oh my gosh, like I'm pulling out my hair. So because of the fact that Crookham had such big wins over such a quality opponent in Vito Arujau, who ended up being a two-time national champion, he didn't beat him once; he beat him twice. I think it's totally fair to put him over Bo.
So we got three last honorable mentions here: Stephen Buchanan, two-time third; Wyatt Hendrickson, two-time third; and then Richie Figueroa, NCAA champion last year. The reason Richie's so low though was because he took 5 losses. He did
Yeah.
battle some injuries mid-season, but 25 was just such a hodgepodge last year.
Some people that are going to be wanting Buchanan higher.
You think
Yeah.
so?
Yeah.
I don't
Because in
see
the
it.
97 rankings, a lot of people were saying it's Buchanan's weight and screw Ferrari.
Well, when they match up, we'll
Buchanan's
find
never
out.
beaten Ferrari.
Yes, someone also commented that, but like, I, yeah. I mean, I don't think Buchanan should be higher, but I feel like some people are going to.
I think Wyatt arguably has a reason to be
Wyatt
higher.
definitely has. He's got the crazy bonus. Like he's a dominant force. He could maybe be higher, but
Yeah.
it's in the honorable mention block.
Yeah. So let us know your comments down below. Where do you think the pound for pound ranking should be? Did we miss anyone? Interesting note, no 157 pounders in the top 16. No Tyler Kasak, no Myra Shapiro, no Ja'Cory Teamer. I think that's fair. I think that's
Yeah.
fair.
I mean, and
That's
we'll see
fair.
how the season unfolds. I mean,
Yeah,
I
at
think there's
least.
a case for Meyer, but we'll see how it unfolds.
You mean not number one cactus ranked Tyler Kasek?
Well, obviously K-Sack because he's just going to win the whole bracket, but I think Meyer's going to be more dominant.
More
But
dominant.
I still think Alex Facundo is going to be the starter at 157 this year.
Interesting.
I just think they have.
I remember we made that suggestion in a video, and people were like, "There's no way he could get down to 57."
And then and everyone's like, "Oh wait, he's actually competing at 74 kilo, which is 163. You don't think you lose another 6 pounds?"
Never.
Yeah. But I think that and I've kind of said this a bit. Penn State, for better or worse, has a team that's probably going to win the national championship next year, regardless of if they put out their best lineup or not. And I think that to avoid the incoming logjam that they know is coming, they want some of their more veteran guys to start using up their eligibility. And so I think the plan is to get Facundo at least a year in there, let Kasak take a true red shirt and build up to when they need him.
Mike Long, do you think Luke Lillidahl should be on this list?
Well, I mean, he'll be honorable mention after he beats Richie Figueroa and wins the national championship.
Oh, so you don't think preemptively he deserves to be on this list?
No, not yet. I mean, he's a 4-time world finalist, 2-time world champion. A lot of high school accolades.
Never won a college match.
Yep, a lot of high school accolades. That's what I mean. Like he's not.
But you have him winning, and you have him as number one at 125.
Well, that's end of the season. This is right now.
But in our preseason rankings, you said
yes, because I'm seeing the big picture of this is how I anticipate the end of the year is going to be. My rankings don't change. I lock in for better or worse.
I lock in. That's just how it is.
I mean, let's see that.
Yeah.
I can see him, Luke. He's a good wrestler. He's beaten guys like Jax. He's beaten guys like Marcus Blaze. He's taken losses to good talent like that as well.
Do you think he'd beat Bo Bartlett?
Do I think Luke would beat Bo Bartlett right now?
Yeah.
No. I think the weight difference is too much.
Mm.
Hey, wait, are you talking about if they were the same weight?
Yeah.
If they're the same weight, I would put Luke.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. You know what's funny, though, is Bo was such a great high school wrestler. I think he was a 4-time prep national champion, like one of the elite of the elite of the elite. And then he just, not to say it didn't carry over to his college wrestling, but, Bo is not this offensive juggernaut that we saw as a high school wrestler.
Yeah.
So, and we've kind of talked about this. High school, while it's great, doesn't necessarily dictate college performance.
True.
Mm-hmm. So let us know down below. What are your thoughts? Pound for pound rankings before the 24-25 season. Let us know down below. Happy Halloween.
Thanks for watching. We are Cactus Wrestling, and we'll see you next time on our next video.